right, so folks, here's my take on traveling by plane. Remember when traveling was actually exciting and fun, and you were so pumped to get on a plane?
Welcome aboard the spacious cabin, attractively decorated, air-conditioned but draft-free. Roominess extends even to the powder rooms, which look like those in a private home.
It was a romantic thing. When I remember getting on a 747, you go upstairs into the bar. This is maybe before I was even allowed to drink.
I think it's before any of our audience was born.
But it doesn't matter. But if some of the
You're
people,
talking about
no,
1939.
seriously,
Yeah.
because it was great. I remember the food was amazing. You'd walk right into the plane. I know we have the TSA now because of you know what, but now it's you dread doing it. I mean, at least I do. You gotta get to the airport. Parking is a pain in the ass if you park, if you get dropped off or whatever. You gotta go. You always, how long is the line? How long is the line? Do I have the right paperwork? You get to the line, you go to the TSA, and it's forever, and everybody's pissed off, and you get on the plane, and now you gotta wear the friggin' mask, which I think is whatever. That's my opinion on it. And the food sucks. The people usually are still pretty nice, but it's the whole travel experience. I'll give you an example of what just happened to me. I just got back. I was in New Jersey a while back, and I was going through the TSA, and now you take your shoes off because you understand the whole traveling thing is a nightmare.
No liquids. Pull out your laptop, cell phones, pocket change, shoe.
And I take the watch off and everything goes in the bin, and the shoes and the hat and everything, and your whole world goes in the bin, and it goes through. So they have one of the metal detectors or whatever they detect, like this, right? There's one here. Here's the track with all your stuff on it going through the X-ray. Here's one walkthrough. Here's another one. This one is closed. So I get to the end of the line, and a guy that's a TSA guy lifts up the plastic thing to walk through. So I'm standing there, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm waiting." He says, "Hey man, the line's over there." And I said, well, why are you moving that? He says, "I'm just moving it to come out." I said, "Well, how am I supposed to know that?" And he starts copping an attitude with me. And I'm thinking, you know what, if I get in a problem with this guy, they're not going to let me fly. So I have to eat it. And my wife and kid are over here in this line, which I didn't see. So I get in the line, and I go through, and now I'm really upset. And I go through, and I leave my money and my cell phone in the bin.
Oh my God.
So now I'm putting my shoes on. I start to go, and somebody walks over to me and says, "Hey, you left your phone and your money in the bin." I went, "Oh." I go back, and thank God there's my phone, my money clip, which is a very expensive money clip, and it's
with
new,
no money in it, of course.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
In the pocket, it looks like there's money, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. And it was on the floor. I pick it up. Now I didn't know this, but my wife had spoken to the guy and said he was trying to get in line with us. The guy comes over to me and apologizes.
That's nice.
And I said, "Man, I didn't know what you were doing." But my point is this: it's a pain in the ass. Now, I have many stories. Now, George,
don't you usually fly private?
Sometimes I fly private. Sometimes
Oh.
I don't.
Really?
Yes, it's not cheap to fly private.
What, in between shows?
What?
I said in between.
In between series. That's the line. That's the joke.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Listen, I fly commercial. Depending on what's happening. If somebody's paying for the commercial flight, I'll go fly commercial.
Yeah.
And I'll fly up front. It's nice, and although this time they screwed up my ticket. Whatever. The whole thing upside down nightmare. The food. I was on Braniff years ago.
They're supposed to be great.
They would cook a steak in front of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was
Lufthansa.
Lufthansa too.
I went to Germany in Lufthansa.
Phenomenal.
Yes, they
But
were
now
great.
it's just.
But that was 80s. No,
Whatever it is, Mark. Whatever it is, it's like everything in this country. It's become a job to do anything.
nothing's
Nothing's
fun
as
anymore.
easy. If you call it, if you call it, I'm going to rant now. If you call a corporation, if you call anything, whether it's about a warranty, whether it's about a bill, whether it's about anything, it's 20 minutes out of your life. If you want to speak to this number, if you know the number of the person you dial, please dial now.
Thank you for calling your local internet company. Si desea ser reprendido en español, marque dos.
Yeah, I just want to cancel service.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
And you're doing this, and you know what I do now? If I get, like, if something comes to me, and it's like wrong, or you know what I mean, or if it's like a bill that's really expensive, it shouldn't be, I just pay it because I don't want to deal with it. I just can't get on the phone with these friggin' people. Anyway, I'm off the airline thing. I'm into America being a voicemail world. Go. Anyone. Nothing.
See, I have always been afraid of flying.
I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please let me handle this.
I've got to get
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Afraid is different.
But I have noticed that, you know, when I used to fly, and I started flying in the 80s, and I remember in a 747 going to Hawaii where I could smoke a cigar.
Really?
Up in the first class lounge. They had the 747s on top was
Yeah.
a bar with a
Piano.
stewardess, a piano, and you could actually smoke a cigar. And it seems like this was a million years ago, and so it relaxed me a little bit. But I was just always didn't like flying. I did a lot of it in the 80s, but now, to me, I avoid it, and I don't. If I can never fly down.
Listen, I would avoid it if I could. Sometimes you got to fly. You did a movie in Ohio. You drove to Ohio.
I drove back. Well,
get it.
I also had a cat.
What?
But no,
you
I
probably
actually
would've
wanted
done
to.
it anyway.
No, I absolutely did not want to
I
fly
will not
back.
drive that. I don't want to drive 2 miles from my house.
I was all by myself.
I get it.
And
Well,
I
you're
was
all
so
by
happy.
yourself anyway.
I'm all by myself at my house too. Yeah, so I'm used to it.
But it's just become such a grind. You know, like it's just a grind. Okay, I'll tell you this is my favorite airline story. My favorite. Bailey was very young. She was young. I think she was a toddler. We went to Tennessee to see my in-laws, who were great people. And so flying there, we had the bulkhead, which is great because the kid can roll around. You have plenty of room. And we got the 3, 4, I think whatever it was. We had the whole row. And Bailey was small, so it was fine. So coming back, I said, look, we got to get the bulkhead, honey. We got to get the bulkhead. I can't deal with this. So it's a true story. So we get to the airport in Tennessee. I go to the person behind the gate. I said, listen, if there's any way you could give us the bulkhead, I'd love it because, you know, this was a non-first class flight there. There was no up front. So the guy said, I'll see what I can do. I didn't know, but the plane was coming from Maryland to Tennessee and then to LA. So the guy says to me, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll let you on first. Because he saw we had a baby. He said, okay, so we get on the plane and we're the first one, and there's 3 seats here, 3 seats here in the bulkhead. Here is a young man, maybe 20-something years old, here's a woman. I lean into this kid and I say, hey, I'll give you $100 if you go to the back of the plane. He says, and he's on the cell phone.
I remember this.
He says, what? I said, I'll give you $100. And I had a $100 bill. I say, I'll give you $100 if you let me sit here. And he says, oh, I just made the easiest $100 I'll ever make. So now I turn to my wife and my kid and I say, okay, we're sitting here. As I turn to them, there's a woman and says to me, the woman in the other bulkhead says, what the hell do you think you're doing? He's handicapped.
Oh, no.
And I turn, and the kid is trying to get up. I go, oh, God. No, it's okay. He says, no, I want the money. I said, no, it's please sit down. And no, he gets up, and I shove him back in his seat. And the woman says, what the hell is wrong with you? How could you do? And I say, oh, God. My wife and kid gone to the back of the plane, and the kid has my money. So I'm like, oh crap.
You're trying to get it back,
no,
of course.
Wait. So Mark, my mind was blown. I didn't know what to do.
You
myself.
made a cripple try to get up?
Well, you can't say cripple anymore.
No, my mother was crippled.
Yeah, I know that.
So I
but you
can
can't
say it.
cripple anymore.
Yeah, you
Mark
can.
has word issues.
Yeah, I have shoe issues.
So
too.
So I'm mortified. They're gone. She's screaming at me. The kid, and I just walked back. So now I'm sitting there for the whole flight, and I'm thinking, he's got my $100 bill, and I'm sitting here.
It was probably the right thing to let him keep it after
Oh
that.
God, I was.
No, you got it back. You beat him up when he got off the plane, right? And took the money.
I'm sorry, George. I cut you off.
No, that's fine.
And I've been changing diapers on the plane.
Yeah.
One, my baby crapped on Renee, and it was my fault.
The thing this is a positive thing about, your people try and be courteous and get along when you're all crammed into an airplane, but I think since all the trouble that we've had on airlines, that people will unite as for a common cause if there's ever a problem. Like that will bring people together, even if
George, how about this? I don't know anymore. I think everybody will just take out their cell phone and start recording it.
What's wrong with those people? Why are they helping us?
No, I actually believe if
I
anybody...
hope so.
No,
I pray that they will.
after 9/11,
Maybe you're right.
if
I hope you're right.
anybody was to get up, and it's happened with these people who are assholes,
true.
and every male,
Yeah.
every female,
Yeah, I think you're
everybody,
right.
they will take a guy down, and you will never take a plane over.
I'm just
or have a
speaking from
problem.
what I would do.
No, I still have
too.
faith in America and American people, all people. I have faith in the human people.
Keep going.
No, wow. No, I do. I love America. It's the greatest country in the world. That's why everybody wants to come here.
I know, but don't come here.
Well,
Come here legally.
come here legally
legally.
and be good people, and then
Right.
we're fine.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't want to fly anymore. I just don't. Private, amazing.
But you know what scares me about private? The planes are a little small, and I'm so afraid of
Yeah, but
flying.
they're better maintained.
I've flown, private. I've had friends who had money. I never had money, but I have friends who have money, and I've flown, and it's great. But you know what? Even a big one like a 16 passenger, I still worry about. And my dad was a captain in the Air Force.
That's right.
In World War
That's
II.
right, yeah.
He was a night bomber in Germany, and
That's why it's so strange you're afraid to fly, and your dad
he was a well.
your dad was getting shot at.
I know.
In the middle of the night.
You know what? I'm not a panic. I don't like. I fly.
I'm not a panty?
A panic. I
pantic?
don't panic. I'm not wearing panties. Is that what he said? No. I just always think when you're up in the air, you'll either come down safely or you will die. When you're on the
pretty
ground,
much.
well, no, but when you're on the
Pretty much your
ground,
two
you're not
options.
going to die. But once you're in the air, until you land, you have a potential to die.
So a plane does not want to crash.
I do know. I
spoken
know
to
some pilots.
They do not want to come down.
I do know. I've
You
actually.
have to force it down.
Yes. Except then I read.
If you lose a wing,
Yeah,
then you
I watch all these cable shows, Mayday, which is every plane crash that ever happened and how it happens, and it scares me. I watch things and then I become scared.
No, I understand.
Right.
I just don't like it anymore.
just
I know
wanna
you people fly. Everybody has to fly, but it's not.
And I respect pilots.
I love pilots
so much.
I do,
But
and I just think I'm. And look, I don't blame flight attendants for being pissed off a lot of the time. To deal with people the people don't want to be there in the first place.
Yeah,
And they're dealing with aggravated people, and get me this, get me that. I mean, I understand they have a hard job. That's the two things that I could not do.
How do you hit that?
Get on a
George?
plane and deal with people. So that's what flying has become. Mark, wrap it up.
I hate flying.
See up my nose with the